the New York Giants defeat the Green Bay Packers 27-22 across the pond. Daniel Jones has now won 5 of his past 6 starts for the New York Giants. This team 4-1 for the first time since 2008. What is really, I know we talked about it just a few moments ago, but what has stood out the most about the New York Giants and their 4-1 start?
Yeah, it's their defense. It's the amount of pressure that they're willing to put on a quarterback, chances that they're willing to take, like we have nothing to lose mentality. And that's done them justice so far through the first, 5 games of the year. And it's not like they've played, 3 of their wins were against teams like, but the Titans have played better lately. They beat the Titans, the Panthers, the Bears. They're not scoring a lot of points. They got 27, which was their highest point total of the year. But even against the Cowboys, I mean, it was a 1-score game at the end, and they had a chance there. So I think this was just more about them understanding what they are. They're not an explosive team. They're a team that's going to have to run the football. They're a team that's going to have to play good defense. And when they do those things, then good things can happen. And Daniel Jones using his legs more has helped them in the rushing department. Another 125 on the ground for their rushing against Green Bay, and they didn't turn the football over. Giants don't turn the football over. Their defense is good enough to keep them in games.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. And we just talked about it before, the big difference of what Wink Martindale has done for this team. The Giants, that's the other thing. The Giants trailed this game. Like, it's not like they had the lead, they jumped off to a lucky early lead, and then just kind of held on. The Giants at one point were down 17-3, and then went on a 24-5 run to end the game. The last Packers touchdown in this game was in the second quarter, like middle of the second quarter. So they shut down this Packers offense towards the end of the game and through the second half. And this defense is a game-changing defense right now. Good schemed, good look defense. And that's without James Bradbury, who they lost in the offseason. Like, this team is good, or this defense is good. This offense is getting better, I think. I think that we're seeing a progression from this offense. But on the Packers side of things, where are we at here with the Packers? After obviously saying last week they can't continue winning games like the way they did against the Bucks, or the Patriots, I should say, where they went to overtime, shouldn't have went to overtime, but it did. They ended up getting the job done. So they can't keep winning like this. They have a game similar and they don't win. What do the Packers need to clean up?
I don't know if it's cleaning up anything. It's not like they're turning the football over like that. They need to run the football. They need to do what their team is designed to do right now. Like, you go up 17-3, like you talked about, against a team that's inferior to you, against a team that you should beat, and you're not running the football. You're not, I don't want to say milking the clock, because that's not what you're trying to do, but you're not establishing play action football if you're not running it well. And to give Aaron Jones only 13 carries and A.J. Dillon only 7 carries, like, that's not enough for those guys. Those guys are the foundation of what makes this team actually tick. Like we talked about, go back to that Bears game when they looked like their best version of themselves. What did they do? They ran all over the Bears. It was a lot of Aaron Jones. It only scored 14 points against Tampa Bay. If you look at how they did it, if you look at, they had 12 carries apiece, and they didn't run for very many yards, but they were consistently running the football. They were at least presenting like, hey, this is a threat. It allows for play action. It allows for guys like Romeo Doubs, who's a young wide receiver, to not have to see linebacker underneath, safety over the top, plus bracketed by a corner, and have to find the soft spot in the zone or think too much on a route. It can be, oh, it's wide open here. I just got to get to my 12-yard dig, and Aaron Rodgers is going to find me. And so to take that thought process out of it for young players like a Christian Watson, like a Romeo Doubs, some of that needs to be helped out by the play calling. I don't know if it's Matt LaFleur. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is checking out of this stuff, but they have to run the football. Their 2 best players are Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and they're both in the backfield. So why not give them the ball? And if you look, it's a direct line from the Green Bay Packers being successful on offense to them not being successful on offense, is how much they actually run the football. Not the result, how much they actually run the football. Even in the Patriots game, their defense did not play well. 33 touches between Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
Yeah,
that's what they had been doing.
Not so much on the fact that these are like the storyline coming into this year was the rookie wide receivers and how his weapons were going to handle it, like how we were going to see uh, everything progress in terms of the pass catchers. But the storyline right now is not the pass catchers. It's like you said, the running game. And live from Wisconsin himself, we have now brought on our intern to the show to help us break down the rest of the Packers Giants game real quick. We're going to touch on a few things coming from live from, I can't remember what part of Wisconsin, but he's from Wisconsin, live, the Green Bay Packers man himself, our guy Tyler the intern. Can we do that as the nickname? Is that Tyler the intern?
It's better than some other nicknames I had. So,
hey, it might be a good one. Tyler the Turn, short for intern.
Just stick with Tyler the intern.
Got it, Tyler the intern. That's what we're rocking with. Tyler, welcome to your debut on the show, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man. What did you think of your what's going through your mind yesterday through this Packers game as they fall to the Green Bay or as they fall to the New York Giants?
Why can't we actually be competent sometimes? Because we had some success running the football. I woke up at halftime, not gonna lie, because I was out late on Saturday night, but I was able to go back and record and watch it the whole thing, but I'm like, we just couldn't move the football. As you saw at the end, we just kept on throwing these Hail Mary shots and we just couldn't move it, couldn't get anything going, and we're just like why can't we just get these going? Obviously we had David Bakhtiari go down. I know he wasn't playing at the end of the game, but why didn't we have him the whole time? A few questions that we had that I haven't had answers yet.
Yeah, I have a question. I got a question for Tyler because I'm a big Aaron Rodgers stan. Everybody knows that. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's one of the best to ever do it at the position. How much blame do you put on Rodgers in a situation like this with such a young group of wide receivers, knowing you have A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones in the backfield? I would anticipate that LaFleur's calling plays, but Aaron Jones has the ability to check in and out of these plays. And I get it. He's going to do whatever the defense wants to allow him to do. But sometimes you just have to be stubborn and run the football, even if it's a heavy front. How much blame are you putting on Aaron Rodgers not being able to to get this offense going through the first 5 weeks of the season? Because it doesn't look the same as it has in the past.
I honestly, I think you have to put most of it on him because it looks like, especially with plays like this, where it seems like he's checking out of the run plays, checking out of some stuff, and he's making decisions on his own where he's not listening to LaFleur. And I think we've seen that recently, especially since LaFleur has been there. He's been like the juggernaut of the offense. But I think it's going to be different once he actually does retire, especially because this year he hasn't looked good. He hasn't really looked the Aaron Rodgers of old, where he's been unbeatable. He's been making mistakes. He's been making misplays. He's been throwing interceptions. And it's like, are we starting to see the sort of downfall of Rodgers? Obviously, he's still Aaron Rodgers, and he could beat you anyway, left, right, or center. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's starting to look like we're starting to see the end of the Rodgers era in Green Bay.
He said something after the game, Aaron Rodgers, when he was asked about the young talent that they have in Green Bay. He was asked about it, and he brought up something that kind of stuck with me. He brought up the fact that there's a lot of stuff going on off the field that people are focused on. And I don't know what that is. I don't know any of the reports of what's going on. Maybe you can have some insight on that. But is that kind of where we're at as a whole for this Green Bay Packers team, especially with the offense and maybe Aaron Rodgers, that there's just too much outside stuff going on that it's coming into into the field and affecting what's going on in the field? Because and I mean outside stuff like the storylines of all these young talent rookie receivers that he has to throw to, and whether or not he can do it. There's a lot of drama, I feel like, in Green Bay. Maybe not like the drama like we're used to seeing from other teams where it's like someone killed somebody or we got off-roading or some nonsense like that. But there's some drama going on. What are your thoughts on all of what I just said?
I mean, there's always drama with the Green Bay Packers organization. If it's not Rodgers hates his coach, it's Rodgers' new girlfriend hates him. It's this, it's that, it's Rodgers' family hates him. There's always going to be drama surrounding Rodgers because he's a very weird individual. And I'm going to say that because especially this offseason with the whole Joe Rogan podcast, his new tattoo, he's a very weird sort of out there individual, which I like having as a quarterback, because if you're not out there as a quarterback, you're going to lose football games. You need to have that sort of weird guy, because he's probably one of the smartest players on the team. But I think it's sort of weird because it's like all the younger wide receivers that we haven't experienced that. Because obviously Romeo Doubs is from Nevada. What do you have going on in Nevada for football? Nothing really. Like, you have North Dakota State University, nothing really going on there in terms of drama. So it's like you have these younger guys where it's like they're coming into this and they're like, I don't think they're used to the whole sort of Packers situation where everybody tries to hate the Packers and tries to, at least what it seems like in the media sense, where it's like everybody's like, oh, they have all these, they're not going to win, they're not going to do that. And it's like, I think it's starting to bog them down. And I think Rodgers is probably going to have a players only meeting and be like, hey, look, listen to this. It's Packers organization. We're going to get hate no matter what, because we have me as a quarterback and we haven't been winning. So
that's just kind of where it is. Yeah. Players only meeting. I like it. Call him up, Aaron Rodgers. Call him in, bring him in. Say, Matt LaFleur, get out here. We are players only meeting. Let's get this ship back on track. That's where we're at. Aaron?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm buying it. I don't know if I'm buying the drama.
All right, here we go.
I don't know if I'm buying the drama aspect of it. I think there is a disconnect. I do to the point of the disconnect. I think the disconnect often happens in the NFL, especially with teams like this. When you get a quarterback that's a veteran, that's almost 40 years old, the generational gap between him and Romeo Doubs or him and Christian Watson is huge, right? It is not, their relationship off the field is not the same as him and Davante Adams. And that's the problem. See, when you get a quarterback that has a relationship with wide receivers, they can relate. They work out in the offseason. They do some of the same things. Aaron Rodgers is not working out with 22-year-old, 21-year-old Christian Watson. Like, that's a kid still. That's a dude that's, like you said, coming from North Dakota State. They don't have that chemistry, that relationship. And so they're probably looking at Rodgers, and I'm going to be honest, they're probably like, we don't care how great you are. This generation of young players and young.
He freezes from time to time. That's the thing.
Coming out of high school into college, and they don't relate or don't understand what Aaron Rodgers is or what he means to the game of football. A lot of these players don't even watch football. Like the funny quote we talk about is the whole Kadarius Toney. He's like, I never even seen a game before. Like, he had never watched a football game. He just liked playing. Like, that's today's kids. That's what they do. They see clips on the internet. They think they know what Aaron Rodgers is because they've seen older people talking about it, but they don't actually grasp the iconic, polarizing figure he is in the NFL. So to them, it's like, oh, he's just a quarterback, but he's good. We know he's good, but he's a quarterback. He doesn't relate to us as human beings, though. We see it in the NBA with young players talking about LeBron and them. They're not afraid of those guys anymore. They come at you. And so these young kids don't take well to Aaron Rodgers' personality. And that's where a disconnect comes in. And it's hard. It's hard on Rodgers because he's doing what he's always done. And it's hard on these younger players. I don't buy the off-season or the outside drama, though. I don't think it has anything to do with girlfriends, where these dudes played college at, whether they're the Green Bay Packers or not, because the Packers ain't won shit in 12 years. Like, to me, it's about the disconnect in age between him and his wide receivers, and he is a very particular person. Like you said, he's an oddball. He's very odd. And if you're not on the same wavelength as him, he will not trust you. Simple. He will not trust you, and he is the type of player. He holds a grudge. You can be wide open, but if you drop passes, his ass will not throw you the ball. I watched it with Marquez Valdes-Scantling at times. If he did not trust you, he would not give you the ball. And so I think there's more of a team generational struggle with Aaron Rodgers being a leader, that he always has been a leader in a different way. And I don't think that sits well with certain players in that organization. And I think that's where they don't seem to be one cohesive unit. You know who is cohesive? Aaron Jones. Aaron Rodgers loves Aaron Jones. They're cool, right? But he's been there. He's gained his trust. They've become cool. Davante Adams had that. These other guys don't have that yet. And to be honest, some of them probably don't even want to work to get it. They probably don't like him. And I see that. Like, I see it in the way they play, in the way they communicate. Allen Lazard has it. He had to earn that, though. Like, it was a struggle for Allen Lazard for 2 or 3 years. Like, he had to earn that from Aaron Rodgers, and he has. And that's why any tough play, watch where he goes with the football. He'll throw it up to Allen Lazard. He'll throw it to Randall Cobb before he even looks at those other guys.
If you disrespect Mercedes Lewis one more time on this show,
I'm sure him and Mercedes Lewis are best friends.
He had a touchdown in this game.
They were both parting the Red Sea when Moses was around.
He had a touchdown in this game. Don't disrespect Mercedes Lewis. Tyler, any thoughts on that before we kind of close? There's a lot of chat. The chat is absolutely buzzing on Tyler's appearance here. The chat, like Joey B has a lot of cheese related questions for Tyler here, which we'll get into to close things out with you. But in response to what Aaron was bringing up with the Packers.
I mean, we've seen it already. Week 1. Christian Watson drops a wide open pass first play of the game, doesn't get targeted until probably the next game. I think he got targeted one more time on a little end around. Like, you have to earn Rodgers' trust. And I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows it's difficult for some people. And if you don't respect it, then I think they already had like a conversation with us in the locker room where it's like, Kyle was like, yeah, if you don't like how Rodgers plays, you can just leave. We don't care. Like, we don't need you here. Like, obviously we do need the wide receivers because we don't really have a passing game right now, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you're fighting with your quarterback on earning his trust, I think it's sort of different. Obviously there is that generational gap, but it's like, why are you arguing with a quarterback who's been around, who's won a Super Bowl? Obviously it's just been one, but look at the amount of people who haven't won a Super Bowl that we consider greats. Like,
back-to-back MVP is kind of a big deal.
Ego. Yeah. It's these athletes are super egotistical. Like I said, I'm around them a lot. I see it. They don't care. They don't care that it's Aaron Rodgers. They think they're better. They think that they're the greatest talent that's going to come in and change that game. And it takes a different type of person to understand and respect what Aaron Rodgers has done in this league.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of these questions regarding Tyler and his snowblower and his Wisconsin adventures here real quick. Yeah. You gotta. So there's a lot. Joey B has literally. This is great. This is fantastic. I'm gonna pick one of the best ones though. Got any cheese curd recommendations? What is the key to a good cheese curd?
If it squeaks. What? If it squeaks. Oh. If you buy the cheese, if you don't buy the cheese, yes, it is. So I'm gonna go with depth right now. But no, so if you get a cheese curd and you don't deep fry it and it squeaks when you eat it, great cheese curd. If it doesn't squeak, terrible cheese curd.
What is happening right now?
Deeper analysis on the cheese curd than the Packers.
Wait. Let me ask you this: cheese curd. Are you dipping it in caramel sauce?
What the no.
Dude, it tastes like a funnel cake. Swear to God. Aaron can attest to this. Didn't you try it when you had it?
Yeah. So these guys, I came out here and these guys were like, try it. I'm like, dude, that's disgusting. Cheese and caramel, like, and these guys like made me taste it. And I'm not gonna lie, man, it's life changing. It's life changing.
Yeah. Jalapeno ranch is where it's at.
See? Wait. Oh, whoa. Whoa. And by snowblower, Joey B did ask what brand snowblower you owned, but
the one from my grandpa.
There you go. That's
Grandpa Jim's snowblower.
Hey, there it is. Tyler, we appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you. We'll have you on again for Packers talk because this was good. We'll have to keep you dialed in to help us break down the Packers games. Who do they have next week?
I don't remember.
Do you have a bye next week? Are they on a bye?
No, I know we play next week.
They play the Jets.
We play the Jets. Okay. We go back-to-back New York games.
Because Jair Alexander was saying that they're going to lose to the Jets.
Oh.
And then Aaron Rodgers said we can't be doing that.
Oh. All right. Well, let's we'll get your thoughts on that game coming up on a Thursday show. We'll get some insight from you then, and we'll have you back on next time we talk Packers.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Before we move on, do you have anything to say to your buddy in the chat talking about the Giants?
No, I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing for anything. The Giants won the game. They still lost to the Cowboys, and it wasn't without Barkley. It was with Barkley. Saquon was the reason. Saquon came back in the game. Like, calm down. Like,
okay.
It's not, they didn't do anything special. Listen, talk to me when the Giants are relevant again for an entire season. Yes, they're 4-1. I'm happy for them. this was more about Green Bay than it was about the Giants, though. But they did what they were supposed to do. And if you were missing earlier, I said that was my biggest winner, right? It's not my fault you didn't come on the show on time. Go back and watch it. I said the Giants were my biggest winner this week.
That is true. We did talk a lot of good about the Giants. They do defeat the Green Bay Packers, though, 27-22. The Giants now moved to 4-1, and the Packers are 3-2.